What's a piece of propaganda that to this day still has many people fooled?
Till Reddit has no idea what propaganda is.
ITT. People not understanding the word propaganda. Edit. A word.
Propaganda is when an English guy takes a really good look at something.
The term carbon footprint? It was coined by British Petroleum, BP, to shift the responsibility of climate change onto the common people. Link.
Same thing with plastic recycling and the numbers on plastics. It was a marketing ploy to convince people it was okay to buy plastic goods and not worry about plastic pollution, even though no one was really recycling anything, and even today a majority of plastics are not recycled. They shifted the responsibility to consumers and covered up the problem. Planet Money has a podcast on it, Wasteland, Sept. 11, 2020, explaining what happened and is still happening in plastics and petroleum industry.
The McDonald's Hot Coffee Ladies Smear Campaign. Coffee's is generally 130 F. McDonald's was 200. McDonald's had been cited on 7 other occasions that they were keeping their coffee at dangerously hot temperatures. The woman had 4th-degree burns to her genitalia. She simply asked McDonald's to pay the $20,000 in medical bills. They refused and she sued for the $20,000. The $9 million was added by the jury.
Background for why the coffee was so hot. McDonald's served free refills of coffee. The McDonald's franchise instructed employees to serve the coffee stupid hot so breakfast buyers would not have enough time to allow the coffee to cool off. Folks finishing their food would have to take the hot coffee away and not get a refill. This increased the turnover rate and reduced refills. The McDonald's knew this and cited multiple times not to engage in this practice as other people had gotten injured enjoying their hot lava in a paper cup.
Guinness is high in iron. This was used to market beer to pregnant women. For real. Link. 1 ounce of nuts has twice as much iron as a Guinness. Edit. Cool. My biggest comment ever is about Guinness.
In Ireland, Guinness was given to new mothers after they gave birth in the hospital.
A good chunk of food, health, propaganda. Asterisk milk is a super drink they builds your teeth, bones. Asterisk eat beets, kale to detoxify your body. Asterisk drink apple cider vinegar to balance your body's acidity levels. There's a whole laundry list of them. And in all brutal honesty, almost all of them are people taking a study basic findings and exaggerating it to the extreme. The simple trick to having a healthy diet is just, don't eat the junk food, processed food on a regular basis and you're fine. Eat a healthy amount per meal. If you follow those 2, you will always be healthy barring extreme situations.
Is detoxifying your body not propaganda in the first place? I mean, you have a liver. As long as it works, why add anything else?
That carrots make you see better in the dark. The claim originated with the British to explain why they were shooting down so many German planes. They had actually invented radar. Edit. Just because this is blowing up and it's tangentially related. Rabbits shouldn't really eat carrots much at all. They are too high in sugar and lack the nutrients they need. The whole rabbit-carrot thing dates back to the origin of Bugs Bunny, who in an early cartoon mimicked a famous Clark Gable movie scene involving eating tons of carrots. Eventually the carrot became Bugs' trademark gimmick and we've all since linked, rabbits love carrots. But please, don't feel carrots to your rabbits folks, they're bad for them.
The British had invented radar, but the Germans knew they had. Radar installations were actually some of the first target bombed in the initial stages of the Battle of Britain. What the Germans didn't know was that the British had developed a radar set small enough to be carried in an aircraft. So when the British suddenly started finding and shooting down German aircraft in the middle of the night, the British needed a cover story. That's where the carrots make you see better at night story comes from. Fun fact, carrots were specifically chosen because it was one of the foodstuffs the British had in ample supply, so they wanted to promote their consumption. Another fun fact, carrots do improve your nighttime visions, but to make a perceivable difference you'd need to eat so many carrots it would actually turn you orange.
Diamonds are rare and valuable.
And that lab-created gems aren't real.
That fat in food is bad for you.
In Germany there's the saying, Die Dosis macht das Gift, which means, the dose makes the poison, it's the dose that makes the poison. It's true for so much including virtually everything in food like salt, sugar and also fat. Edit. A lot of folks pointed out that the point where it is too much is relatively low for sugar and that sugar intake itself is not actually necessary for the human body. I'll probably stop looking at this thread now.
That water fountains are bad for you as they contain a ton of harmful bacteria. Take a swab of virtually anywhere and you'll get harmful bacteria.
In high school biology, I swabbed a drinking fountain and was disgusted. Took me at least 2 hours to use a drinking fountain again after examining the petri dish.
Dark roast coffee having more caffeine than light roast. People still don't believe me. The lighter the roast, the more caffeine.
The greener the bean, the more caffeine.
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Everyone knows it's actually second breakfast that matters.
Food drives are massive propaganda. People believe that donating their unwanted food to a food bank helps people. 1. Yes. It's a really nice thing to do, and absolutely creates goodwill and makes people feel good about themselves. It's a lovely thing to have children do to exercise, tune their empathy. 2. Many of the donations are unusable, expired, damaged, and the cost of sorting and transporting donations can actually exceed its value to a food bank. If you want to help hungry people in your community, donate your time or money to your local food bank. On the flip side, please use your local food bank before you're in crisis, before you're homeless, before the electric is turned off. We want you to use the services as the first line of defense if you're struggling, not the last.
I donate cash to my regional food bank and the food bank at my church. More than once I've encountered people going, well, food stamps didn't cover what we needed, so I didn't pay the water bill. No. Find a way to pay the water bill because you need water, and cost to reconnect is an outrageous expense. There are at least 3 places I can point you to feed your family. Getting water bill help is much harder.
1000%. Within the ecosystem of helping organizations in an area, it's always easiest to find food over any other type of assistance from your local charities, nonprofits, and government agencies.
Chemicals are bad for you. Try our all-natural, organic, GMO-free version instead.
How about chemicals are bad in general? There are good ones and bad ones. Everything has chemicals in it.
One needs to buy an engagement ring in order to ask another for their hand in marriage, and don't get me started on that 2 months salary nonsense.
Pure marketing. De Beers and other diamond purveyors started marketing diamonds in the 1930s using the movie industry. They also gave or loaned large pieces to royal families and celebrities to wear in public. It's still done today. Beyoncé has an ad campaign where she wears a huge yellow diamond owned by Tiffany. Link. Engagement rings don't have to be diamonds. They can be any pretty stone, really. A piece of a meteorite might be cool too. And some people don't use engagement rings at all, coming from different cultures without that brainwashing.
That adding MSG to food is bad or dangerous. It isn't, it helps enhance the overall flavor and makes food taste even better.
There's a lot of people who have a problem with MSG, but I don't hear many people say they have a problem with Doritos.
That you have a waiting period prior to reporting a missing person. There isn't one.
If you have reason to believe they are missing, it's, unsurprisingly, worse to wait, and you should report them missing ASAP.
That spinach is incredibly iron-rich. It is a good source of iron, but that it is a miracle food is due to a conversion error. A decimal was put in the wrong place, leading to a 10x misattribution.
I blame Popeye for this. That Subway bread contained ground-up yoga mats. It contained a dough conditioner that is perfectly safe for humans to consume that yoga mats also used. People were shocked that breathing in the chemical can be dangerous and cause asthma, so it must be dangerous to eat. But you know what other ingredient is used in yoga mats and bread that's dangerous or even fatal to breathe in? Water. They still phased it out because it's easier to just have chemists and chefs find a new ingredient than it is to teach Americans the most basic of chemistry.
That you're supposed to bleed when losing your virginity. Everyone is different, and if you're making them bleed, you should step back.
Napoleon being short is just British propaganda. He wasn't short, he was average height for his time. Link.
Napoleon is just British propaganda. Wow, I'm probably gonna know something big. Quote, he wasn't short, he was average height for his time. Oh, okay.
I meant to say Napoleon being short is just British propaganda. Don't know how those words just slipped out of my mind.
Vaccines causing autism.
Fun fact. Autists are overrepresented in STEM fields. This means, among many other things, that autism causes vaccines.
That one Lemmings documentary saying they'll all follow herd mentality and will run off a cliff if one of them does it. The film crew actually chased him off the cliffs. Edit. As I was so very rudely informed, propaganda is only propaganda if it's political related, and isn't just any kind of misleading news or official information. Till. Ya bastards.
They didn't just chase them off a cliff, they literally gathered a herd of them, drove them to a filming spot where lemmings aren't even found, and rigged up a contraption that forced them off and just used editing to make it look like they ran off. Edit. The reason they gathered a herd and drove them somewhere else is because the documentary they were doing was about Arctic wildlife. They paid for a bunch of lemmings to be taken to downtown Calgary, a Canadian town near the Canada-America border, very far away from the Arctic, for easy filming. They also took a polar bear cub and put it in a film studio in Calgary and faked it falling down an ice slope.
That all fat is bad and sugar is okay.
Anything that boosts your immune system is somehow good, because a boosted immune system is one that attacks your cells, and that's called an autoimmune disease.
That the woman who spilled hot coffee on herself was an irresponsible idiot who filed a frivolous lawsuit. Edit. To clarify, she was horribly burned and the lawsuit was absolutely not frivolous.
This and that lady who sued her nephew who hugged her and she hurt her wrist. People dubbed her the aunt from hell. Turns out she needed to have a lawsuit around the whole situation to pay medical bills, and the whole family was okay with it.
Windmills killing large numbers of birds every year. A couple outdated studies, decades ago, never really corroborated, and is almost exclusively used these days by fossil fuel proponents.
That nuclear power is dangerous, even more so than fossil fuels. Dude, it's a lump of metal providing as much power as several tons of coal. Why do you think they wanted you to hate it?
Funerals need to be expensive. Bro, what the F?
When I'm dead, just throw me in the trash.
That immigrants are stealing our jobs whilst simultaneously being jobless and stealing our benefits.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.